Hi to everyone. In this video, let us discuss valence bond theory in complex compounds. So, how a complex compound is formed by transition metal ion, let us see here. So, the first postulate here, what is that? When a metal ion ready to form a complex compound, when it forms a complex compound, it undergoes the formation of coordinate covalent bonds. So that metal ion undergoes the formation of coordinate covalent bonds. Okay, then in that case, that metal ion act as electron pair acceptor. That means nothing but Lewis acid. And for that purpose, that central metal ion provides vacant orbitals. So, central metal ion provides which one? Vacant orbitals. Now, the number of vacant orbitals provided is equals to coordination number. How many vacant orbitals that provided means that is equals to which one? Coordination number. And here that providing vacant orbitals only after the process of hybridization. That means central metal ion or that metal ion in a complex compound provides hybrid vacant orbitals. That provides which one? Means hybrid vacant orbitals. And in that vacant orbitals, maybe outer d orbitals are present or might inner d orbitals present, but that depends upon which one? Strength of the ligand approaching the central metal ion or transition metal ion. Now here that after that creation of vacant hybrid orbitals, now there is a overlapping between these vacant hybrid orbitals and orbitals of the ligands containing lone pair of electrons. So there is a overlapping between vacant hybrid orbitals of metal ion and orbitals of ligands having lone pair of electrons by the formation of coordinate covalent bond. And that type of overlappings equal to which one here? Coordination number. And that hybrid orbitals may contain outer d orbitals or inner d orbitals. That depends upon which one? Strength of the approaching ligand towards that metal ion. Now let us see strong ligand if approaches which type of complex compounds and which orbitals, which d orbitals involved in hybridization. So now if a strong ligand approaches, we get inner orbital complex. So let us see formation of inner orbital complex. One example for that, CONH3 taken 6 plus 3. Before going to this explanation, let us remember some strong field ligands, NH3, cyanide and CO. We have to remember these three ligands especially. These three ligands are considered as strong ligands. Okay, then what is happening here when strong ligand approaches? Let us see here. First, this is the central metal atom cobalt. Its atomic number 27, configuration 4s2 3d7. Of course, here we have to write argon. Argon 4s2 3d7. So this is the configuration of cobalt. And here cobalt present in +3 oxidation state. So in that +3 oxidation state, it loses 3 electrons from this configuration. Now it will become argon 3d6, argon 3d6 4s0. That means here by losing required number of electrons, cobalt providing vacant orbitals for the bond formation. Now we have to draw that orbital structure here. 3d6 means 6 electrons are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 3d orbital, 3d subshell, and let it be the 4s subshell, and after that we can get here 4p subshell. Now already we discussed that here ammonia is a strong ligand. When a strong ligand approaches the metal ion, irrespective to Hund's rule, pairing of electron takes place. That means this electron will pair up with this one, this electron will pair up with this one. So in presence of strong ligand, these electrons will undergo regrouping irrespective to Hund's rule. Now here we got which one? Two vacant d orbitals. Now 6 ligands are approaching the cobalt, so it has to provide 6 vacant orbitals, and before that bond formation they undergo hybridization. So now these 3d orbitals, 2, 1 4s orbital, and here 3 4p orbitals. So total d2sp3 hybridization. 2 plus 1 plus 3, total 6 hybrid vacant orbitals are provided by cobalt plus 3. Now 6 ammonia molecules donate lone pair of electrons, and they form which one here? Dative bonds. 6 dative bonds with which one? Cobalt plus 3. Thus CONH3 taken 6 plus 3 compound has formed. Now here what are the other important things in this? As inner 3d orbitals participated in hybridization and also in bonding, this complex compound is called inner orbital complex. And as all the electrons are paired up, this complex is also called spin paired. And as this is having total that magnetic moment 0, it is known as low spin complex compound. And as no unpaired electron present in this, it is having diamagnetic nature. So these are the different important things we have to remember regarding this inner orbital. And another name also there, as strong ligand approached, this is called strong field complex compound. So this is regarding inner orbital complex. Now let us go for which one? Outer orbital complex compound. Outer orbital complex compound means exactly controversial to this inner orbital complex. Exactly which one? Controversial. So one example we can see here, COF6 minus 3. Here fluorine is the ligand. Fluorine is which one here? Fluoride is a weak ligand. Now CO oxidation number is again in this case what we can get to plus 3. So the configuration argon 4s0 3d6. What is the cobalt plus 3 configuration? Argon 4s0 3d6. Now let us draw the 3d subshell here. 3d subshell containing 6 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 3d. And let us write next orbital is 4s orbital. Next 4p orbital. And after that we have to go for which one? 4d subshell. Now here fluoride is a weak ligand. So no pairing of electrons or no regrouping of electrons takes place irrespective to that Hund's rule. No such regrouping. That means here inner 3d orbitals are not get vacant. That means not available for which one? Hybridization. So now these 6 fluoride ions has to provide 6 lone pair of electrons. That's why this cobalt plus 3 provide 6 hybrid orbitals, that to vacant hybrid orbitals. What are those? 4s, and here 1 plus 3 4, 4 plus 2 6. That means what is the hybridization now? sp3d2. In this, which d orbitals involved in hybridization means 4d orbitals. As outer d orbitals involved in hybridization, this complex compound named as outer orbital complex. And another one, as all the electrons are not paired up, it is known as spin free complex, and it is having a net spin value, so it is known as a high spin complex. As weak ligand approached, it is known as a weak field complex. So these are the different names, and it is paramagnetic in nature. If strong field ligand approached means that is diamagnetic, but here due to the presence of unpaired electrons, it is paramagnetic in nature. So like that, if a strong ligand approaches, we get inner orbital and spin paired low spin diamagnetic compound. If a weak ligand approaches the metal ion, we get which one? Outer orbital complex, spin free, high spin and paramagnetic compound. So like that, we can get which one? Different type of complex compounds based on the strength of ligand. Now one easy technique to answer such type of questions. The question they give like this: any one complex compound name they can give, and we have to tell what is that, which one, what is the hybridization present in it, and also different properties also they may give. So one example here, nickel tetracyanide, nickel tetracyanide if they have given. Now what is that question they may give here? The question is here, what is that nature of that complex compound? Is it spin free or spin paired? As strong ligand approached, now it is said to be which one? That spin paired complex, and also we can call that as which one here? High, that means low spin complex, and that is diamagnetic in nature. And another compound I will give here, another question also I will provide for you. What is that here? See that question. COCl6 minus 3. If this question, what is the question they have given here? What is the hybridization present in COCl6 minus 3? So except one or two exceptions, in all remaining cases one can follow one easy method. What is that? Just see this ligand. Is it strong or weak? So this is a weak ligand because cyanide, carbon monoxide, ammonia, these three are strong ligands. Remaining anyone you can consider as a weak ligand. So it is a weak ligand. So when weak ligand approaches, we get which one? Outer orbital complex. So now here we have to go for outer orbital complex only. Now 6 ligands approaches means only 2 possibilities are there, D2sp3 or sp3d2, because 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 3 6. 6 vacant hybrid orbitals should be provided because 6 ligands are approaching. Only 2 options we have to verify. But it is inner d orbital complex, but it is outer d orbital. But here chloride is which one? Weak ligand. So we know that weak ligand always go for which one? Outer d orbital, outer orbital complex. So now hybridization involved in COCl6 minus 3 is nothing but which one? sp3d2 hybridization. Only some exceptions are there. For example, if strong ligands are approaching. Strong ligands means CONH3 taken 6 plus 3. As strong 6 ligands are approaching, we have to tell it is inner orbital complex. Therefore, this is not the correct answer. Now we have to tell the hybridization D2sp3 hybridization. But some exceptions are there. What are the exceptions we can see here? For example, if 4 strong ligands are approaching, 2 hybridizations are we can expect. 4 ligands means either sp3 hybridization or dsp2 hybridization. But if a strong ligand approaching, we have to answer which one, dsp2 hybridization. For example, if a weak ligand is approaching, we have to give the answer which one, sp3 hybridization. But of course, in all the cases, this easy technique is not useful. Some exceptions are there. What are the exceptions? Let us see here. The first exception is here. What is that? Nickel tetracarbonyl. So generally, by observing here strong CO ligand, 4 strong ligands are approaching means one can expect dsp2 hybridization. But one exception is here. This is undergoing sp3 hybridization, not dsp2 hybridization. This is, you have to remember as one exception. And another one here, especially for CO, that too regarding +2 oxidation state. Cobalt when present in +2 oxidation state, the difficult phenomena we can observe. What is that? Let us see here. Cobalt +2 means its configuration argon 4s0 3d7. Argon 4s0 3d7 means what here? We have to write that in subshells here. Let us consider this. Which one? 3d subshell. Consider the 3d subshell here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3d subshell. This is 4s and here 4p subshell, and again we have to go for 4d subshell. Of course, by observing these 6 strong ligands, one may answer that it is undergoing D2sp3 hybridization, but that is not correct in this case. Let us see why that happened like that. Now, of course, here strong ligand approaching. That means as per our assumption that regrouping of electrons may takes place. Okay, we can agree for that also. But what happens, see here, only one of those electrons is paired up. Now still one unpaired electron is remaining. And also, here only one d orbital is vacant. Here one s orbital. Here 3 p orbitals. Here one d orbital. That means if you want to see the 6 vacant orbitals, the hybridization may be like this, dsp3d. So it is not correct now. That means here, even though 6 strong ligands are approaching, here no regrouping takes place. This will undergo sp3d2 hybridization. That means what happened? Outer d orbital participated in hybridization. That means even though strong ligand is there, it is now called as spin free and also high spin paramagnetic compound. So this is one of the exceptions from that which one, easy technique. So this is regarding valence bond theory. So in our next video we discuss which one, crystal field theory. Okay, right boy?